man. I just wanted to make a public apology, man, to the Gen Z and Generation Alpha that's coming up in this world. Yo, y'all parents are some of the most selfish, uh, lazy, um, excuse making generation probably ever out of all the current generations. We um we just failed y'all. We absolutely failed y'all. Um, all the kids, or I ain't gonna say kids. I'm gonna just say younger generation. Like so we talking like teenagers to young adults. We set y'all up for failure, man. And the reason why is because the older generations sit here and lie and make up all these excuses and all this and all that. Yo, what's good, bro? They make all these excuses of why they weren't able to get in line and really teach y'all the right way. You know what I mean? So at my old high school, so yesterday a kid got stabbed. So right, and I commented on Facebook. I'm like, yo, this happened back in the day. Like this ain't nothing different. You know what I mean? This happened 20 years ago, plus years ago. You feel what I'm saying? Like all the parents that are my age or a little older or whatever like that, they act like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Eh, so I'm a Gen Z, but my parents taught me better what they're doing. That's great. That's good. Hopefully, appreciate you tuning in, man. Hopefully, your parents continue to keep you on the right path. That's what's up. That's good. But my generation failed your generation overall. I know there are special cases where some parents are doing what they're supposed to do and they teaching the youth the right way and how to move and stuff like that. But all the crime that's going on, all the violence and all that was happening back in the day when I was coming up. It was people out there fighting, stabbing. We was banking people. Like I know some dudes I grew up with, they robbed people. They wound up doing prison time for that. They didn't wind up getting out of jail until I want to say like their mid 30s, early 30s or whatever. So all the stuff that's happening now was happening back then. But the only thing that's different is everybody didn't have cell phones. I mean, they had cell phones, but they didn't have the technology to stream and they didn't really have social media like that, like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what pisses me off. Is like the fact that you got these people, man, making all these excuses about, oh, the new generation, this and that, and back in my day, we did this and we did that, and we never did that. It's like, bruh, like we was doing the same shit. It just wasn't televised like that. And I will say this about the younger generation: they more fearless than my generation and the generation before, like the millennials. So like Gen X and the baby boomers or whatever. Y'all more fearless, yo. You got the older generation just want to make excuses and it's scary. Where the younger generation wants information, they want to learn, they're willing to retain the information. It's just millennials didn't instill that discipline for them to retain that information. That's where the discipline aspect comes in. Our generation was soft and coddled Gen Z and the generation Alpha or whatever that's coming up now by giving them all this free reign instead of saying no. Like, all right, we can't do this. Like I know plenty of people that I went to school with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or that are parents. They just give their kids whatever. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, nah, I'm a discipline y'all. Nah, I'm gonna really talk to y'all and really teach y'all. Our generation, the millennial generation, is teaching the kids, uh, you know, like, oh, just go to school and learn instead of really teaching their kids like, look, I'm gonna pass some real knowledge to you. I'm gonna show you the game. You know what I'm saying? Like that yo. I'm telling you, yo. Like I'm so frustrated with people on Facebook. Like I'm like, yo, all the stuff that happened in Kenwood with the stabbing and all that. Like it was a dude I went to school with. Well, actually, before I even got there, I said in my last video or last night or whatever when I went live, right? Yo, this dude brought the Jimmy Mac. Well, we call it the Jimmy Mac, meaning like a pistol, right? He brought a pistol to school, right? And shot himself in the foot, and he got kicked out of school. He couldn't come back to school. Same thing. These kids is bringing guns to school. Like nothing's changed, man. But folks is like, oh my God, they're bringing guns to school. This and that. Like people forgot about Columbine. You know, if y'all get a chance, y'all can go on YouTube or go on Google and look that up. So that was like a mass shooting back in the day. You know what I mean? People was bringing guns and shit like that, to school back in the day. Now, when it hit the suburbs with the Columbine thing, when it hit the suburbs, that was when it was an issue. But like if you grew up in an area, like I know some, like some people that went to like Baltimore City school, whatever like that, they was carrying guns to school. I mean, doing what they gotta do. I guess you could say like to protect themselves or whatever the case may be. But they was out there doing shit. They was doing shit too. They was robbing people, all that. People was catching licks in the morning time and all that before they went to school. Ain't nothing changed, bro. It's the same thing, man. Same thing, man. Like so so if you hear like these millennials talking about well, back in my day we didn't do this, back in my day we didn't do that. That's bullshit. They was doing that shit. I'm a millennial. We was partying, right? When I was in high school. We went to house parties. We was, fucking with the broads. You know what I mean? We was doing all that. We was hustling. We was doing everything, yo. You know what I'm saying? We was drinking. We was doing all that. Now I did it to a level to where I knew my limit as far as like what could get me in trouble and what wouldn't get me in trouble. That's one thing I'll say. The millennials, some of the millennials knew what they could do and what they couldn't do as far as like getting caught and stuff like that. But still, we was still doing the same fucking shit. So people that's going online talking all this crazy stuff, man, they full of shit. They're lying. They are lying. So yeah, I had this one girl I went to school with, shorty like, um, well, these kids are now are off the hook and this and that. And I'm like, no, they not off the hook. They doing the same shit we was doing. So, but yeah, man, this is my public apology to Gen Z and the younger generation because the older generation failed y'all. You know what I'm saying? And the generation before my like the baby boomers failed the millennials for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like none of my family, you know, that live on my grandmother's block that had property and stuff like that. They drunk their money away. Other people came in, swooped in, bought the property and all that. They never passed that legacy down to their kids or nothing like that. They didn't pass not a little bit of wealth to those kids. But the baby boomers, they had wealth passed down to them. They had property passed down to them and stuff like that. Now I will say this, like nobody's entitled to just anything, right? There has to be some level of like accountability and a thought process and proper teaching in order to, you know, maintain and hold on to that legacy or maintain and hold on to that wealth so you're not burning through it. But yeah, the generation before me, man, they was going to the clubs on Friday, they was getting drunk, they was smoking weed, they was partying, they was hustling, they was doing all that shit. They was doing the same shit. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna probably get up out this joint. I'm just, giving my thoughts on everything like that, and just what's going on or whatever for real, and you know how Gen Z been failed by the older school, and what we can do to try to make some changes or whatever. But it's kind of really a public service announcement. Like I'm tired of the older generations constantly trying to shit on the new generations when we can really build the gap and learn and build with each other. And I will say this, like a lot of a lot of younger dudes, they gotta start respecting some of the older guys, especially the older guys that's had some type of like success, or they can actually show their credentials. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the one young dude. I ain't gonna get into my stepdaughter's, ex boyfriend or whatever. He like kind of tried to stick his chest out, and I had to let him know quick, like, bro, nigga, I made it, bro. I'm accomplished. You can't come up in here and stick your chest out, bro. You ain't nobody don't owe you shit. You know, you take that shit to your mommy, bro. But like I said, he's brand. He's being brought up with being in a broken home, dad's in prison, shit like that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's where they get some of these people, they get this entitlement shit from. You know what I'm saying? But I'm about to get up out this joint. Peace.